राजनीतिक सूझबूझ कहती है कि मनरेगा कभी बंद मत करो।
That was Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the floor of the Lok Sabha in March 2015, just months into his first term.
मनरेगा आपकी विफलताओं का जीता जागता स्मारक है। आजादी के 60 साल के बाद आपको लोगों को गड्ढे खोदने के लिए भेजना पड़ा। ये आपकी विफलताओं का स्मारक है और मैं गाजे बाजे के साथ इस स्मारक का ढोल पीटता रहूंगा। मनरेगा रहेगा, आन बान शान के साथ रहेगा।
He famously dubbed Manrega a living monument to 60 years of Congress failure, promising to keep it running with full fanfare as a constant reminder to the nation. And for 10 years, it kept running. In fact, it exploded in scale. Consider the sheer numbers behind India's rural employment safety net. The scheme that Prime Minister Modi said kept people digging holes evolved under his governance into a massive 86,000 crore rupee annual lifeline that anchored the rural economy, generating nearly 300 crore person days of work every single year. Fast forward to today. The central government has officially retired the Manrega scheme, replacing it with a comprehensive statutory overhaul, the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission, Grameen Act or VBG-RAM-G. And its first report card is in. I'm Shalini Iyer and this is the Indian Express. On paper, the VBG-RAM-G was presented as a massive welfare upgrade. The government promised to raise guaranteed work from 100 to 125 days per year. It backed it with a record budget estimate of 95,692 crore rupees and declared higher daily wage rates across the country. So India transitioned to a scheme that guaranteed more work days, a higher wage, and record funding to back it all up. The immediate expectation? A robust, strong safety net. Now, 30 days after that nationwide rollout, the official government audit figures arrived and revealed that in its first month, VBG-RAM-G delivered an immediate 50% collapse in rural job generation.
मैं अपने माँ की कसम खाके, भारत माँ की कसम खाके बोलता हूँ, ये कानून गरीबों के लिए ठीक नहीं।
But what do the numbers actually reveal? A detailed report by Harikishan Sharma in the Indian Express, combined with real-time information from the government's official portal, puts together some very interesting data. We are linking to the Indian Express article so you can go through it yourself. But consider this. First, the 50% workday crash. Official dashboard data as of August 9, 2026 shows that 7.67 crore person days of work were generated under VBG-RAM-G in July 2026. What was it in this period last year? In July 2025, 15.33 crore person days were generated under Manrega compared to the 7.6 crores this July. That is a year-on-year drop of precisely 49.94%. The household participation collapse. Look at the data. The number of rural families who actually received work dropped by 51.45%. Last year in July, it was 1.42 crore households. This July, it's 68.94 lakh households. It's a 5-year historical low. Over the previous 4 years, that's 2022 to 2025, India generated an average of 21.56 crore person days every July. But in 2026, July's output of 7.67 crores sits at just 35% of that historical baseline. The 68.94 lakh participating households this July are less than 40% of the 4-year July average of 1.72 crore households, the lowest metrics recorded in India in 5 years. And it's all on the live portal database. This official government portal tracks an active database of 10.83 crore registered workers, over 1.23 lakh completed infrastructure assets, 62% female participation, and 82.8 lakh direct benefit transfer transactions since 1st July. Yet, despite registering over 10 crore active workers, actual work output dropped precisely to half. Now, some of us could be thinking, could this be because holes in the system were plugged? Was the money leaking out of the system through fraud or corruption, and that is what has been fixed? But the numbers here are not measuring the outflow of money. They're measuring the output of work. Every July for 5 years, an average 21 crore days of work were registered through the Manrega scheme. That was actual work. In the single financial year of 2024 to 25, for example, 89,55,000 assets were built across rural India. Now, these are things like trenches, ponds, panchayat buildings that are being built, actually built through labor facilitated by Manrega and now through VBG Ramji. So if we average that out, that's about 7.5 lakh assets built every month last year. This July, it's just about 1.2 lakh assets, according to data on the VBG Ramji dashboard, an 84% drop. So what happened this July? There are two important parts to this story. First, the weather and the climate, and second, the administrative structure of VBG Ramji. Let's start with the weather. This year, India recorded widespread monsoon deficits. IMD data shows that between 1st June and 3rd August 2026, fully 50% of India's 741 districts recorded deficit to serious deficit rainfall. In erratic monsoon conditions, unskilled farm laborers historically lose work. The Rural Job Guarantee Scheme is their primary critical fallback. Then, Kharif sowing stalled. Figures from the Agriculture Ministry show that area coverage under Kharif crops stalled at 894.22 lakh hectares by late July. Same time last year, 920.7 lakh hectares had been planted. This means a shortfall of 26.5 lakh hectares compared to last year. So, against this backdrop of low rainfall and stalled planting, consider this: the administrative structure of VBG Ramji. Section 3 of the VBG Ramji Act allows for a pause in the employment guarantee for up to 60 days in a financial year during peak agricultural sowing and harvesting seasons. This is meant to prevent labour from being occupied with public work at a time when farm work is expected to be priority. So far, 7 states, Bihar, Gujarat, Odisha, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Sikkim and Nagaland, have exercised this provision. Bihar and Odisha are among the states with large rural labour populations. Now, when state authorities enforce this pause during Kharif sowing, regardless of whether rainfall actually allows for farming, the digital system stops recording worker demand altogether. So the recorded pool of job seekers shrinks on paper. So it's possible for the government to claim that it met 98% of demand even as total job creation crashes by half. Now, what happens in normal times? When farm sowing stalls and agricultural daily wage work vanishes, unskilled labourers flood public job sites to survive. Drought is supposed to drive up demand for public work. But in July 2026, thousands of rural families were hit by a double squeeze. Farm jobs disappeared because of the drought, and public wage work vanished under the new scheme. So how does the union government account for a 50% drop in work during a month of acute agricultural distress? Harikishan Sharma's report in the Indian Express quotes an official spokesperson for the Rural Development Ministry, who said VBG Ramji Act 2025 has been implemented successfully across all rural areas of the country with effect from 1st July 2026. The transition from Manrega to VBG Ramji has been smooth, seamless and technology-enabled, with all states and union territories notifying their respective schemes and the complete administrative and digital ecosystem being operationalized before commencement of the program from day one, unquote. The official added that internal tracking shows around 9 crore person days were generated during month 1, which incidentally is higher than the 7.6 crore shown on the government dashboard. He also said a record budget estimate of 95,692 crore rupees was provided for financial year 26 to 27 and highlighted that more than 98% of rural households demanding employment have been offered work. So, Our welfare system is apparently meeting 98% of demand while generating 50% fewer jobs. Imagine a hospital claiming a 98% patient admission rate, but only after keeping its gates shut half the time so that fewer sick people can physically walk in to register. Harikishan Sharma's report reveals 4 major structural pillars in the new law that fundamentally alter how rural employment is funded, allocated and accessed compared to Manrega. To understand the first big change, funding, imagine a parent company that used to pay 100% of a local franchisee store's worker salaries. Suddenly, the parent company tells the local store manager, you have to pay 40% out of your own local cash register, and if you hire more workers than my preset budget cap, you must pay 100% of that extra cost out of your own pocket. What would the local manager do? Stop hiring immediately, right? Under Manrega, the central government paid 100% of the wage bill for unskilled manual labour. Under VBG Ramji, the centre has shifted 40% of that wage burden directly onto state governments. All states, except some smaller northeastern and Himalayan states where the centre bears 90%. Now, for strained state exchequers, paying 40% of something that was being completely borne by the centre earlier means an immediate disincentive to open new work sites. Another change, Manrega operated as a bottom-up, demand-driven program where central fund releases were determined by state labour budgets. VBG Ramji replaces this with a top-down allocation model. Under new rules issued by the Rural Development Ministry, the centre determines a fixed normative allocation for each state based on the 16th Finance Commission's horizontal devolution formula. So under draft rules, states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan and Maharashtra face lower central baseline funds than they received under Manrega. If a local drought hits and a state's spending goes over what the centre has given it, the state government must bear 100% of that excess financial burden alone. And there's another reason why states like Telangana are unhappy. On the 30th of June, the Rural Development Ministry notified new daily wage rates under VBG Ramji. These ranged mostly between 300 rupees and 409 rupees per day across states. Northern and northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Himachal Pradesh non-scheduled areas appear to show, on paper, wage hikes of 15 to 24%. But as Harikishan Sharma's report points out, this occurred because the centre froze Manrega wages for 2025 to 26, keeping old rates through June. If routine CPI-AL inflation adjustments were applied on schedule, Manrega wages would have matched the new rates. And look at the southern states. They have had minimal increases. Telangana's daily wage rose by just 1 rupee. Andhra Pradesh rose by 5 rupees. And Tamil Nadu rose from 336 to 345 rupees. Haryana retains the highest daily wage at 409 rupees, driven by a historical legacy dating back to the 1948 Minimum Wages Act. Perhaps what affects workers most on a daily basis is the other big change, digital gatekeeping. Now, under Manrega, workers relied on paper muster rolls and Gram Panchayat identity cards. Now, this may not have been the most foolproof of systems, but in India, technology comes with its own set of problems. Under VBG Ramji, technology is being used as a strict filter. Existing Manrega cards are only valid during a transitional database phase, with states now issuing new Grameen Rozgar guarantee cards. However, old cards must undergo eKYC verification before work can be claimed. Attendance at work sites must be captured twice daily via the NMMS mobile app using live biometric facial recognition. The official portal integrates high-tech modules like Bhugram for spatial technology planning, SecureSoft for estimates, and Viksit Gram Panchayat plans. But in remote rural pockets with poor mobile connectivity and server timeouts, these high-tech systems routinely end up turning willing workers away. Because picture how this actually works on a dusty, remote, rural work site. You have a site supervisor who has to use a smartphone to scan the faces of dozens of labourers. This requires 1, a functioning device, 2, proper lighting, and 3, most critical, a stable internet connection in some of the most remote parts of India. The introduction of mandatory facial recognition introduces a highly complex friction point. If the server times out, or the data connection drops, or the facial recognition algorithm fails to match a worker who's been sweating it out in the hot sun, that worker is not marked present. And if they're not marked present, if they can't navigate that digital interface to register their initial demand for work, they simply cease to exist in the eyes of the database. And removing these people, maybe the people who need help the most, allows us to focus more on the achievements of VBG Ramji, the fully funded 95,000 crore budget, the system successfully meeting 98% of the demanded registers, and the astonishing 63% female participation rate. These are all no doubt big achievements, but they should not drown out the problems either. Maybe what we are witnessing now with the rollout of VBG Ramji is the friction between a top-down, technology-driven, schedule-based policy and the messy, unpredictable reality of a changing climate and human survival. After all, we are only seeing 1 month of data. July 2026 operated under a unique framework. 7 states had paused works during peak agricultural activity as the new scheme went through MIS, registration and administrative transition. The next few months will be critical, and they will decide if this is teething trouble or a genuine policy failure. Today, the government must ensure that as Digital India grows, it takes human India along with it.